Okay, I want you to picture this. A battlefield. Absolute chaos. Dust in the air, the sound of steel clashing. And right there, in the middle of it all, is Moses. His arms are up, raised to this wild, thundering sky, and he cries out, Kuma Adonai, arise, Lord. Now, you gotta understand, this is not some quiet prayer. No way. This is an activation key. It's a raw, powerful call for God to surge into motion, to become a force of war, a force of cosmic movement. Now, let's just shift the entire scene. The sounds of battle just fade away, and we find ourselves inside a palace. It's lit by the soft glow of what feels like 100 candles. The air is thick with incense. And there's King David, just sitting with his harp, pulling a melody from its strings. He also looks up, but his call, it's totally different. It's like a deep, resonant hum, a true invitation. Kuma Adonai lumanuchatecha. Arise, Lord, to your resting place. You see the difference? This isn't a call for movement. It's a call for stillness. It's a plea for the divine to come and enter a space that's been prepared, to find a home, and to finally rest. So we've got two leaders, two completely different calls, and two fundamentally different ways of connecting with the divine. And that, right there, is the mystery we're going to unpack today. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to look at the two calls themselves, the actual words that literally shape realities. Then we're going to unlock the mystical secret, the sod, of what it means to be in a state of action versus a state of being. After that, we'll dive deep into the cosmic wiring, the sephirots, to see how this all works. We'll see how it's all encoded in color and number, which is just mind-blowing. Then we'll bring it into today with some modern parables you can actually use. And finally, we'll bring it all home to the path that exists inside every single one of us. All right, first up, let's talk about the words. Because in this way of thinking, words aren't just labels. Oh no, they're operational commands. They are the source code of reality itself. And look at this. The incredible power here, the world of difference, comes down to a single word. That's it. On the left, you've got Moses. Kuma Adonai. Arise, Lord. It's a command. It's a trigger. It says, go. On the right, David starts with the exact same two words, but he adds one absolutely crucial thing, lamenuchatecha, to your resting place. And just like that, with one word, he completely transforms the cosmic operation. It goes from a command to deploy troops to an invitation to come home. It just flips the entire script. So let's look at the full line for Moses. Arise, Lord, and let your enemies be scattered. I mean, this is pure, external-facing, mission-oriented language. The goal is crystal clear, right? Activate divine power to go deal with an external threat. It's a summons for God to act in the world, to go change what's happening out there, by force. Now contrast that with David. Arise, Lord, to your resting place, you and the ark of your strength. This is completely internal facing. It's got nothing to do with scattering enemies. It's all about preparing a home. It's this beautiful invitation for the divine to come and inhabit a perfected state of peaceful union. He's asking God to just be in the world, not just to act on it. Okay, so how does this lead us to the mystical secret, this sod? We're leaving the literal text behind now. We're going deep into the cosmic mechanics of what these two calls are actually doing on a metaphysical level. So here's the absolute key. Moses' call, it activates the divine attribute of din. What is din? Well, it's judgment, it's severity, it's distinction. It's the force that cuts, that defines, that creates boundaries, that acts. I mean, think about it. If you need to scatter enemies, you need sharp distinctions between friend and foe, and you need decisive action, right? Moses is literally summoning God as a warrior to get a job done. David, on the other hand, is invoking a state of minutia. And this is not an attribute of action. It's a state of being. Minutia is rest, tranquility. It's the ultimate purpose of all of creation, a harmonious, perfect union. Mystically, we're talking about the union of the divine masculine and feminine aspects, the king and the queen, in this state of blissful, generative stillness. So you see, David isn't calling for a tool. He's preparing the bridal chamber. Let's put this in modern tech terms. Moses' call is like an emergency system activation. Imagine your whole network is under a massive attack. You, the admin, run a command that instantly deploys all firewalls, reroutes all power, and activates every single defensive protocol you've got. It's a super high-energy, temporary state of exception, and its only job is to neutralize the threat. David's call is something else entirely. He's not the admin fighting a threat. He's the architect who just finished building the perfect, stable hosting environment. He's created a flawlessly balanced, totally secure server, a state of perfect equilibrium, super low entropy. And his call is the final command. Okay, migrate the core consciousness here. This is its permanent home now. It's about fulfilling the system's ultimate purpose, not just responding to an emergency. So how does this actually work on a cosmic level? I mean, really what's happening under the hood? To understand that, we've got to look at the wiring diagram of reality itself, the Kabbalistic tree of life, the Sephirot. Okay, let's break this chart down. Moses, our man of action, he's aligned with the Sephirot of Netzach and Hod. A simple way to think of them is like the legs of the divine system. They're what initiate movement and victory. So his call is an upward activation. It's a signal from our world shooting up saying, deploy, act, go. He's summoning that power of Din. But David is the archetype of Malkut, the kingdom, which represents our physical world. His whole job is to prepare our world to be the perfect vessel to receive the downward flow of divine energy coming from Tiferet, the king. So his call is a downward invitation. He's building a home for the divine to come down and dwell. And this is where it gets really incredible. This fundamental duality, this action versus being, it's not just some abstract idea. It is literally encoded into the symbolic language of the universe itself, in colors and in numbers. So Moses's mode is the color red. I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? As classic Kabbalistic texts like the Pardes Rimonim explain, red is the color of Gevura, the divine attribute of strength and severity. It signifies the intensity of Din, the fire of judgment, the blood of conflict, and the raw power you need for war. It's the color of making those sharp, necessary distinctions. David's mode? That's white and gold. White is the color of Chesed, which is pure, unconditional loving kindness. It's undifferentiated unity. It's the color of peace. And gold? Well, gold is the color of royalty, of Malchut, the kingdom. So you put them together, and you get the purity and majesty of divine union, that perfect state of menucha. It's the white wedding gown and the golden bridal chamber. And of course, this duality is coded right into the numbers. It always is. It all starts with the number 2. That's the fundamental polarity of motion versus rest. Moses, he operates in the domain of the number 6. This represents the 6 directions of physical space. Up, down, north, south, east, west. It's the realm of action. But David's goal is 7, the 7th dimension. It's the synthesis of all the other 6. It's the still point in the center. It's the Sabbath, the day of rest. It is the dimension of perfect minutia. Okay, I know we've just gone super deep into some mystical mechanics, so let's bring it back down to earth and land this with a couple of modern parables to make it totally crystal clear. First up, for all you gamers out there, the video game version. Moses' call is basically hitting battle mode. You're up against the final boss, right? You hit a button and suddenly your character is glowing, infused with this temporary, super high energy power-up. All your stats are maxed out just to defeat that enemy and complete the mission. And then, once the boss is gone, the power-up fades. David's call, though, that's home base mode. This isn't a temporary state. It's the ultimate goal of the entire game, to gather all the resources, build the perfect, impenetrable castle, and create a state of peace and security where the king and queen can finally live. It's not about the fight. It's about everything that comes after the fight. And for the engineers in the audience, here's the cosmic engineering version. Moses' call triggers a system surge response. You can think of it as an overclocking event. It diverts all available power to external-facing systems, defense, propulsion, kinetic output. It's incredibly powerful, but it's also inherently unsustainable. It's purely task-oriented. David's call, however, achieves steady-state equilibrium. This is the system finally fulfilling its primary design, achieving a state of maximum internal coherence, perfect efficiency, and restful, self-regulating synthesis. It's the ultimate goal of the entire cosmic project. So, after all that, what does this actually mean for us, for our lives? Well, this isn't just some ancient story. These are 2 essential modes of being that exist within all of us. They're the archetypes of the warrior and the lover that are inside each and every one of us. The path of Moses, that's the path of the warrior. It's all about activating that divine force in the world. It's for those times in our lives when we absolutely have to rise to a challenge, when we have to fight for what's right and accomplish a mission. It requires strength, it requires action, and it requires a clear purpose. This path, this is the journey. And then you have the path of David. This is the path of the lover, and it's about drawing the divine into a sacred space that we prepare inside ourselves. It requires stillness, devotion, and a lot of loving preparation. It's about cultivating a home in our own hearts where the divine can come and truly rest. This path, this is the destination. And so, that brings us to the final and most crucial question, the one for you to really take with you. Just look at your life, right here, right now. Are you on a battlefield that demands your action and your strength? Or are you building a palace that requires your peace and preparation? When do you need to be Moses, and when do you need to be David? We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.